All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. All right, guys, so Bitcoin, just like I described yesterday, might start going into a range here. We do kind of expect a range here at the value area high resistance, the macro value area high resistance of our 5-month range. And Bitcoin is holding up pretty well overall. We did see a little bit of a drop throughout the day because we did reject from that 786 value area high yesterday. Actually, not even quite the value area high. It was a little bit above the value area high, but we are just ranging. We're ranging in this upper range. Right now, I'm on the 12-minute time frame. We're ranging within this upper range here and near the value area high resistance. So there's a couple of things that could happen from this range here. We could, like the prior ranges that we have seen on Bitcoin in this rally to the upside, we could range for a bit and then continue the pump to the upside. You know, we did it down here, ranged for a bit, very flat range, pump to the upside. This could be another possibility that does happen on Bitcoin, but with us now seeing the a clear 5-wave impulse up, we are at the end of our range, and we do have to watch for, or we are at the potential end of our impulse, excuse me, not range, end of our impulse, and we could expect a bigger dump to the downside if this range really starts to fail on us. I know that's not perfect, but we'll just do that. 4 and 5. Now that we are at the top of a very clear 5-wave move, you guys get the idea. We could range for a bit here, creating a sort of distribution pattern on lower time frames, and then see that bigger dump down to 96.5K, where our next major level of support is. Okay, so there's a couple things that I've adjusted since yesterday. The channel that I had yesterday, let me go ahead and hide this channel real quickly here. Yesterday and the past few days, I've had a channel on the charts looking at this little channel here. We broke that channel down. We came back up within the channel, lost the channel after rejecting from the 786 area, dropped to take out our very, very local lows from yesterday's lows, or double bottomed it. Let's actually zoom in here a bit. And let's grab array. You can see not even a double bottom, pretty much a double bottom of yesterday's lows. And then we made a push up to back test that channel. After making a push up, let me zoom in now onto the 30-minute chart. After making double lows from yesterday's lows, we came up, back tested that channel, saw a rejection from that channel, and then finally just came down and SFP'd yesterday's lows. We saw a swing failure pattern of yesterday's lows, grabbing the liquidity of yesterday's lows, and now we're making a small push to the upside. But this push to the upside is pretty weak on volume, except for this little bit we got here. Let's actually zoom in on this because this, yeah, it's more of a red candle to the upside. If we look on lower time frames, let's just even go down to the 5-minute time frame. You can see that most of the push up is on pretty low volume here. Pretty low volume on this push up after the SFP of yesterday's lows. Now it was like a 30-minute SFP of yesterday's lows. Grab that liquidity. We're making a push up. So what do? We just trade the range until it breaks, right? The range is this small range. Zoom back out to the 15-minute chart. And we could do a couple things here. Let's pull, first of all, a volume profile of this range. And let's just, we short near the highs of the range, we long near the lows of the range. So you can see that we did front run the value area low of this range. I would have liked to come down a little bit more to touch the value area low of this range. Also, let me get rid of this now. The value area high of this range, we have a new confirmed daily level of resistance right at the value area high of this range. What else is at the value area high of this range? Well, if we take a local golden pocket Fibonacci retracement pull from the highs from yesterday, or what was that? Yeah, Tuesday's highs down to today's lows, and we take that Fibonacci golden pocket pull, you can see that golden pocket pull is also coming in right on top of that daily and right on top of that value area high. So very, very locally, as far as our range goes, this is our local resistance above us, the golden pocket value area high daily level of resistance. If we do come up to this area and reject this area of resistance, there is a high likelihood that we could come down and at least hit our point of control, which you can see our point of control of our range does have a new naked daily point of control on Coinbase there. If I go ahead and turn on that naked daily point of control, you will see that we do have a new naked daily point of control there on Coinbase. And if you zoom out to the hourly chart, you will see that it is right on the section that I placed it. There you go. Naked daily point of control right around our small range point of control. And then, of course, you're going to not pay attention to this one because this one's only 37 minutes old. We have to wait till the day closes to confirm that. But I would say that also check out yesterday's point of control. We rejected from yesterday's naked daily point of control, which was the back test of the channel. So resistance dropped down to the bottom of the range, didn't quite hit the value area low, bounce, and now we can expect as far as local scalp trading goes. Now, you guys, if you are going to scalp trade this range, you have to have your risk management on point because we could break out or break up or down of this range at any time here. So if you are looking to short this daily here, this golden pocket and this value area high of this range, there's a couple ways we could look at shorting this. We could short the touch of this daily and the rejection after the touch of the daily. I would put my stop above the most local high here, because if we start breaking out of these highs again, we could continue up much higher, even to the 886 that we missed out on yesterday. Now, if we're doing this, I would be targeting just the lows of the range, the value area low, an SFP of today's lows into the value area low of the range. Let's go ahead and pull our golden pocket from our lows on Monday to our highs on Tuesday. And you can see that our golden pocket is a little bit below that value area low. So we could wick just a little bit below the value area low to hit the golden pocket, get everyone to think we're breaking the range down only to bounce there. So, you know, you could even pull your TP down here, but if we start to bounce from that value area low, I would TP there. You know, if we see a successful swing failure pattern of today's lows into the value area low or into the golden pocket, you definitely want to TP that short position from the daily. At least half of it, maybe 75% of it. So that's a local scalp trade idea that we might get here coming up very quickly. As far as other stuff though, range trading, I mean, I would look, if we do SFP this into the value area low or into that golden pocket, I would look for a long there as well. So actually, let me go ahead and put that back on. Another idea we could look at for a local long trade is the long of the golden pocket, taking it up even to take out our daily. If we, wick past that daily, we could take it up to here. We could take it up to take out the highs, these internal highs here. And of course, your stop loss is going to go below wherever that wick bounces from. I would wait for a bounce here or wait for a reclaim of the value area low. If we do break the value area low, like say we do this, come down here, hit into our golden pocket, I would wait until we break this value area low to long. Of course, you're going to be longing then a little bit late, but it would be safer longing here at the break of the value area low, break back within the value area. Your stop would go below that golden pocket. And then you could shoot for the highs of the range or shoot for these highs right up here. So that's a couple local scalp trade ideas you could look at here on Bitcoin, trading the range. But it is due for a bigger move here. And now that we have finished our 5-wave impulse, or might not be completely finished yet, but now that we look like we're finishing that 5-wave impulse, we might be expecting a bigger correction to the downside, maybe to that 96.5 gold point of control. So just be aware of that. Now, the other thing I wanted to cover, the other adjustment I made that I wanted to cover, this was the channel that we were looking at the last few days here. Now, what I did is I took the same channel and I just adjusted it a bit to look at, actually, let's go back onto the hourly chart and this will get a better look at it. I just adjusted it to our secondary low here, still taking the two initial points from these two first highs. You can see we rejected from the top of the channel. And this is the area, this is the new channel that I'm kind of watching now. You could, I do understand if you pull it down to the lows on Monday, that is nice as well. But the midline doesn't fit quite as well as that other pull. So I'm just going to use whichever works better. So I'm using this one. You can also see we rejected from the midline in that case. Earlier today, when we came up, we hit those midline, we hit the midline and we dropped. So if we do come up to the daily here, reject from the daily, the golden pocket, the value area high, if we do come down into that value area low golden pocket area, it's going to be at the bottom of the channel. Let's take that golden pocket again, and I can show you that. Golden pocket here, it's going to align really nicely with the bottom of the channel after a rejection from our daily. If we do come down there, hence more support for our scalp long trade. Now, knowing that we hit the macro 886 with this touch up here, we do expect to eventually come take out the all-time highs, but that doesn't mean we cannot retrace down to 96.5 first. That's why I'm going to be watching for a sort of distribution pattern up in this area. Now, another thing we could talk about with this distribution pattern is it could take some time, and knowing that all of this could be a third wave, this could just be tap one of the distribution. We might come up in a flat correction, hitting the top of the channel for our tap two, and then we could dump and form a tap three, seeing our larger distribution range play out, and then see that dump down to 96.5. That is a couple things that I'm watching for on Bitcoin. Right now, kind of a slow day, just ranging. If we come up to this daily level with some low time frame bear divs on the chart, I will look to short this because we do have, I mean, overall market cipher still looks pretty bullish. It looks pretty good here. No bear divs on the 12 minute so far. If we go zoom into the 5-minute chart, no bear divs on the 5-minute. Money flow looks pretty good on the 5-minute. If we zoom out to the hourly chart, money flow is crossing into the green again. And if we go to our 4-hour chart, this is where things start getting a little bit hectic here. Let me get rid of that little thing. Money flow looks really nice and bullish here, but we do have those bear divs on the chart. You can see lower highs here, higher highs here. And if we do come up there, form a sort of trigger wave, we want to see that money flow be starting to round out there at that daily. Then on the daily market cipher B, we do have a very slight bear divs here, lower highs in the momentum waves, higher highs in the price action, and our money flow is topped out and kind of curving to the downside. But you can see with today's price action, let me go ahead and get rid of these things, and I'll bring market cipher B full screen. It is looking like money flow wants to come up again and make another hump. So maybe we do see that second tap of the distribution where I talked about, where we come up a little bit higher. As far as NAMI goes, NAMI has been a great indicator. NAMI is also showing those bear divs locally, but also more regionally on the daily time frame. So multiple drives of bear div on the daily time frame, and you can see our money flow also has bear div on the daily time frame, with money flow starting to curve to the downside and come out here. NAMI is showing those bear divs. 4-hour chart for NAMI, you can see that we did have the bear divs here on the 4-hour between the beginning of the channel and the end of the channel, which gave us that little bit of a dump here. And if we do come up and make another high for that tap two with a lower momentum wave, it'll give us another drive of bear div on the chart as well for NAMI. Money flow, since our start of our channel here up in this area, money flow has been kind of decreasing and coming out on Bitcoin. Okay, and then let's zoom into the hourly chart. NAMI is printing some bull divs on the hourly chart. Now, these are very local bull divs, just from this low, this first initial low here down to here. We have some bear divs on the chart, or bull divs, excuse me, bull divs on the chart, and our money flow looks pretty good on the hourly. So a little bit of mixed signals. What we see here is range signals, some bullish, some bearish. Some, as far as our indicators go, some bullish signals on the indicators, some bearish signals on the indicators. What does that tell me? That tells me Bitcoin might continue to range. Okay, and if we zoom in onto the 15-minute chart, NAMI is showing some bear divs very locally up in this area. As we rise up into that daily, we are seeing some bear divs on the chart. Money flow is kind of starting to cross into the red here. So just be aware that we could get that rejection from the daily and the golden pocket and the value area high. But overall, Bitcoin doesn't look too bad. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad here. And I expect the range to continue, or I expect the pump to continue. Although we are at the top, as far as Elliott waves go, we are at the top of the 5-wave impulse, and we should be expecting another drop. The only question is the impulse done yet? Maybe we're going to make a distribution pattern at the end of the wave 5 and then see the big drop. Okay, that is about what it for Bitcoin as far as that goes. Liquidation heat map, we do have on our Model 2 the last 24 hours, you can see the majority of the local liquidity is above us around 104.9 to 105K. Well, that's above our highs from Wednesday, where we rejected that 786. Now, we do have to remember that, sorry, these highs here. Yeah, these highs here. Now, if we pull up that 886 again that we were looking to reject at the midline, let's just pull that and let's do 886. The 886 was not touched. It was front run. We still could come up in SFP Monday's highs, or was that Tuesday's highs? No, what day was this? Tuesday's highs. We could SFP Tuesday's highs into that general area where you can see our macro value area high is around there again. And that would create that tap 2. And then we can range for a bit and then create another tap 3. So just a couple scenarios that I'm watching here on Bitcoin. Doesn't look too bad. The only area I'm interested in shorting locally is this daily golden pocket. This is where my purple box is. If we break above that, I really would only look to short if we reject from the 886 value area high area again. And if we don't reject there, we don't short there. Okay, and that's liquidation. That's about it. If we go on to the Model 3, over the last 48 hours, the majority of the liquidity is below Monday's lows. So once again, guys, more rangy type price action. We have liquidity locally above us up here. We have liquidity locally down below us down here at that golden pocket area. So now what does that tell us? Market makers usually like to stop out both sides. So maybe we come for the lower liquidity, then we come for the upper liquidity, and we continue to range here, which would give altcoins a chance to pump if Bitcoin starts ranging for a bit. Now, when Bitcoin first droppings in a new forming range, altcoins generally will drop too because they're afraid Bitcoin's going to see that big pullback. But once Bitcoin starts to range for a bit, altcoins tend to pop off. And that's what yesterday's video was about. We do expect altcoins to continue a little bit higher here, or I do, I should say. Unless Bitcoin breaks this range down really hard, then I do think altcoins will break down hard as well. It's the CVD and open interest, we're not really, whoa, this is interesting here. We just got a big drop in, a big short come in, or it looks like actually, yeah, a big short just pulled in here on CVD. So seeing a little bit of nothing too big here on CVD and open interest, but I do want to warn about this. We are looking like we're forming bearish CVDs, likely bearish CVDs. Why is that? Because from our highs from earlier today, you can see lower highs on the price action here, higher highs on the CVD indicator. Now, your open interest is decreasing. You do not want to see open interest decreasing for bearish absorption. So this is bearish CVD divs, but it's not the same as absorption, and absorption is much more tradable than bearish CVD divergences. We are still seeing some bearish CVD divergence, which is a bit of a concern, which tells me that we might reject from the daily just above us. But that's kind of what I'm watching for Bitcoin. Not too much else to cover. Let's go on. First, before we go on to Ethereum and the altcoins, I do want to talk about the partners of the channel. We have two partners of the channel. We have BYDFI and MEXC. BYDFI is offering a 15% cash back on your initial deposit. So if you deposit $1,000, you'll get $150 cash back to trade with just in your account. And you can deposit you can get up to $1,000 bonus cash back, depending on how much you deposit. They are also offering discounts on trading fees, a 17% discount for VIP1, and they are offering up to 45% discounts on VIP levels, depending on how much you deposit on the exchange. So if you're a larger trader and you deposit a large amount of money, you can get up to 45% on your trading fees. That's a huge, huge win. They're also non-KYC and non-VPN exchange. Just sign up with an email. The link is in the description for this. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a small kickback, but you guys also get a win as well with the discounted trading fees and the bonus cash back. And then the other sponsor of the channel is MEXC. Link is in the description as well. They are offering 10% cash back on your initial deposit, and you can get up to $20,000 in trade bonuses, futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move in your futures trading. So that's just a sponsors of the channel. Also, if you get anything out of this video, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone you think would find useful. Now we'll go on to Ethereum here. Ethereum, I did create a little bit of a channel here for Ethereum as well. So Ethereum did reject from that naked monthly point of control, and it was also the 618 of our macro log golden pocket. Now on Ethereum, you can see that I have created this new channel as well. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. We have this new rising channel or ascending channel that has kind of been forming over the past, since Friday, since last Friday, we've been chopping upwards in this ascending channel. Now this, after a big impulse, look at this straight up impulse you see. When you start to see a little bit of exhaustion here on the big impulse, you do tend to create a bit of a chopping rising channel where eventually you will hit the top of the channel and you will get that bigger dump to the downside, that bigger correction to the downside. So for now, I'm just going to be trading this channel. And if we do come down to the bottom of the channel, you can see we have a golden pocket from yesterday's moves, or from Monday's lows up to Tuesday's highs. Our golden pocket is coming in at the bottom of the channel. That is a good scalp long area for me. We do have a daily right below that as well, though, so you have to be aware that we could wick a little bit past it, hitting the daily, reclaiming, and then continuing in the channel. And then as far as resistance to the upside, we have a daily that is coming in around the midline, but we would want to see some choppy price action before we got to that area. But if we do chop for a bit here, maybe overnight, maybe coming up into New York Open tomorrow, we hit up into this daily and up into this channel midline, that could be a good scalp short, where you scalp short that, bring it down to the golden pocket or the daily. If we take our Fibonacci and we go from the highs of yesterday to the lows of today, we turn on that golden pocket. You can see that golden pocket is coming in around that daily and that channel midline. So that is the area, local area of resistance on the charts. I would say this general area in here. And then our local support is going to be the golden pocket. We also, I forgot to mention this, but we also have that liquidity grab of today's lows into the bottom of the channel and into our golden pocket. So that is about it for Ethereum. Now, we did reject from that naked monthly point of control, and it was also the macro log 618 golden pocket. But you can see my purple box is just a bit higher. We front ran that purple box. Now that purple box is the top of our pitchfork band. It is going to be a weekly level and a daily level up there. And then this is the 0.65 of the golden pocket is going to be up here as well. And I do believe there is something else up here. Let's see. Yeah, just those areas. So, and prior range value area low. Prior range value area low. I showed you guys that in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Not too much happening. We're ranging, but overall it's maintaining its bullish market structure, especially in this ascending channel. And as long as we do not lose this ascending channel on Ethereum, I do think that that Ethereum could continue up to that 28.19 level where we have our weekly. All right, Solana. Solana is chopping within the pitchfork as well, still forming, a bit of a ascending channel as well. It's not nearly as clean and nice as Ethereum's channel, but you can see how many rejections we've had from the top of this pitchfork. If I zoom out onto the hourly chart, we just keep rejecting the top of this pitchfork. We created this pitchfork, and in this 5-wave impulse that we're seeing here, Solana is continuing to just reject from the top of the pitchfork every time we come up to the top of the pitchfork. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, really, we've rejected from the top of the pitchfork. But also, the band that is now acting as support holds us every time we come down. 1, 2, 3, lost it a little bit this time, but reclaimed it. 4, 5, and just today, just now, 6. 6 times rejection from the top of the pitchfork, 6 times support from the pitchfork band, the upper band of the pitchfork. And you can see on the low today, we did come down into that golden pocket. We hit that golden pocket of the move from Monday to Tuesday. That big push up we saw yesterday on Solana, we came down, hit our golden pocket, and we are seeing a bounce from the golden pocket. Then we came to the top of the pitchfork band after bouncing from the golden pocket, came up to the top of the pitchfork band, had a small rejection from the top of the pitchfork band, came down to the bottom of the pitchfork band, held it as support, and now we're chopping around the top of the band again. So if we can get above this band, I do think we could come up at least to our new daily level. We have a new daily level at 183.76. And our local 886 was around there as well. So if we pull a fib from the high to low, from yesterday's highs to today's lows, and we turn on that 886, you can see that 886 is coming in pretty much right at that daily. The other thing I would be interested in on Solana, I still do think Solana has a pretty high probability to come up to like this, 193 to 200 area where we have our macro log golden pocket, we have our previous range value area low, we have a daily level, and we have our macro range value area high, which is this guy right here at 195, pretty much 194.5. So I do think Solana can continue to grind up here until we get up to that level. But this pitchfork is really holding us down right now. This pitchfork is holding us down, and there is a possibility that we do eventually break either the top of the pitchfork and get up there, or we break this band of support and we do drop maybe even to the bottom of the pitchfork. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on Solana. You could pull your volume profile and just look at the range that Solana's in as well. Trade the range until it breaks. I don't know if I'd be personally looking for a short up near this value area high POC level that we're pretty much to right now. I personally don't like that. You could even shorten this range and look at just the very flat price action up here. It doesn't change too much for me, and I'm not interested in a short from this area. But if we do come down one more time and hit this golden pocket, the 0.65 and the value area low, SFPing today's lows, then and start to bounce and reclaim that level, then I would look for a scalp long from there. Another thing that I would be looking at is the scalp long from this anchored VWAP. We have not tested this anchored VWAP since we've broken above it, and this is the anchored VWAP from the all-time high. And you can also see that our lows of this range at 166.17, if we do come down, like say we do this and then eventually come down here, we could SFP those lows into the anchored VWAP, reclaim those lows, and then kind of continue back up here. So I would look for a long only upon the reclaim of these lows. If we bounce from the anchored VWAP, upon reclaiming these lows, you could look for a long. So what that would look like is you come down, you hit the anchored VWAP, you start to bounce. As soon as you reclaim those lows, your stop is going to go below the anchored VWAP bounce, and then you would be targeting, I would even be targeting the top of this pitchfork band by then, or even the top of the pitchfork. So that would be the way to play that trade. But you're only going to play that trade if you reclaim this level, because if you don't reclaim that, you can't set a limit at the anchored VWAP. You could bust straight through it. Okay, that's it for Solana. Next up, we'll go on to SUI. SUI is still kind of ranging, forming that possible distribution pattern at the macro golden pocket. We do have a new daily level, and this is the end of the 5-wave impulse, so we could expect a bigger correction on SUI. Except the 5-wave impulse might not be done. That's the thing. The 5-wave impulse, the target zone for the 5-wave impulse was between the 1.236 and the 1.618. Now, we have not made it up to the 1.618 yet, and just like in yesterday's video, this distribution range could not quite be done yet. We could see this is a tap 1, this is a tap 2, and if we're going to create a model 1 distribution, we'll come up and we'll take those highs of 2, hitting into the top of the pitchfork and the 618, seeing a tap 3, creating our model 1 distribution, and then seeing that bigger dump in an ABC correction after completing the 5-wave impulse. So we're not sure if that 5-wave impulse is done yet. We're just ranging as well on SUI around a macro resistance. Now, we do have some levels of, I know this chart looks messy, guys, so I am sorry about that. Let me clean this up just a bit here. We do have the new daily level that is coming in at 4.0642. That is an area where we could reject locally, because if we just look at yesterday's highs to today's lows, we turn on that golden pocket area, you can see, okay, it's actually 786. 786 area is going to be right on top of that daily. So daily 786 area, and you can also see it's the back test of the pitchfork band that we're starting to lose. So that area is a local area to look for a short, about 4.07, 4.06 to 4.07. Just if you're going to continue ranging, that's the area where you could reject. And then if we pull our volume profile and just look at this range, the value area high is a little bit below that area, but that's, acceptable as a zone. All right, and if we start to break down, like you can see, we have some pretty equal lows here on SUI. So if we start to break down these lows, you could look for an SFP of these lows. If I do this, put this on, you can see double lows here. Technically, this was an SFP, but it was so shallow that you probably didn't stop anyone out. So we have semi-equal triple lows here on the chart on SUI. So I do think there's a possibility that we could come down to backtest our much larger range value area high. Let me zoom out here and let's grab that value. So this is our much larger range value area high. And if we do SFP our range lows, let me go back to the hourly chart now. You can see that that value area high is coming in right around the lows of our range. It's a bit further away, but that could be an area where you do see a bit of a bounce. Value area high, prior retest, because you can see here that value area high was acting as resistance. Now that we have broken above it, we have not back tested it yet as support. So if we start to lose this range that we're in here, we could just come down a little bit further, back test that area, and then continue pushing up. That is about it for SUI. So XRP, let's go on to XRP. XRP still is at the top of the descending channel. It's still at the top of the macro value area high of the last 5 months of ranging price action. And I do think that XRP, now we do have a new daily level. You can see here on the charts. Let me get this chart looking better. We do have a new daily level that is at the VWAP close from, the VWAP that closed an hour ago. So I do think that 258 level, it's not in the best spot. Let's just say that if we take a range and we just look at our sideways range, point of controls below it, value area highs above it. So I don't really like that daily level, that new daily level too much. You can see that we did bounce from the value area low earlier today of our small range, but I do think that XRP could continue to drop. Let me undo that. XRP is at that more macro golden pocket, and I do think, and the value area high and the top of the range, top of the channel, I do think we still could drop to backtest the point of control, which we still haven't backtested yet. We front ran that point of control on Monday's drop, and I would like to see us drop just a little bit more. You can see that point of control is in confluence with that anchored VWAP, and it would also be an SFP of Monday's lows, a liquidity grab of Monday's lows into that point of control. So at like 241, I'm interested in looking for a long from there. If we do SFP and reclaim that level, this level of 242.01, if we don't SFP it, I'm not going to be looking for a long there. And as far as shorts up here, it's a tough one. It's honestly a tough one because we could break out of this descending channel that we've been consolidating in for 5 months and really start to explode on XRP. So it's very short. It's very risky to try to short up in this area. But if we look at our golden pocket, you can see that the local golden pocket from yesterday's highs, or from today's highs to today's lows, that local golden pocket is coming in right at that macro value area high at like 260 to 264.5. That could be a local short area where then I would be looking to take out 241. Other than that, and then of course it's pretty good risk management, because if you do short this area here, your stop is just going to go above the highs, the semi-equal highs here, and you're going to be targeting 241, which does give you that good 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. If you get stopped out, you're probably going to break out of here, and you could even, I'm not a breakout trader so much, so I wouldn't look for a breakout long from this area, but it's an idea for some of those who would like it. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on XRP. And then if we go to Chainlink here, Chainlink did bounce from that golden pocket that I talked about yesterday. It was in confluence with our point of control of our range. Let me fix that. We did come down to that golden pocket area and bounced from that golden pocket. Now, our point of control was down in that area as well. Point of control was down in that area yesterday, and you can see we pretty much bounced from that local support that I gave yesterday. We are seeing a bit of a bounce here. Now we do have this naked daily point of control is new. It's a new naked daily point of control, but you can also see we have a new naked daily point of control at, not new, but it's just on the chart now, at 16.63 that we did front run. And I would like, maybe if we do a small, like, A, B, C, come down here and take that into the value area low of the range. Let's actually repull that range now, adjust it to current price action, and you can see that value area low has dropped just slightly here. So we could see a small three-wave corrective move to hit that value area low. But yeah, I think Chainlink overall is still at its a pretty big resistance as well. We're just ranging on Chainlink, so play the range until it breaks. If we do a golden pocket pull from the highs yesterday, Tuesday, to our lows today, yeah, you can see that golden pocket is coming in around the value area high. So that could be a local short area. But overall, just ranging, not a lot happening on the charts today. We've had some pretty volatile price action over the last few days, so I do expect that we could start to range for a bit. Now, I do want to talk about very, very locally here on Chainlink, the way that we pushed up here, you could be seeing a Model 2 distribution pattern already. Tap 1 here, tap 2 here, tap 3 here, and then we could range for a bit and then drop. So just be aware of that. Look at the bear divs that we see on the chart here. We are seeing those bear divs. We are seeing money flow leave pretty aggressively on the hour and finally cross over into the red here. So Chainlink, just be careful here because this could be a distribution range. And I'm not going to be longing these local support areas unless we see the confirmed bounce and reclaim of those levels. Like if you're going to try to long this value area low that I just talked about, I would want to see the dip and then the reclaim. Actually, not even that one. Let's just go to the upper price action here. Yeah, I would want to see us, wick past that naked daily point of control into the value area low. And then I would probably wait until we reclaim that naked daily point of control, or maybe even just wait until you reclaim your prior lows from today, and then long after reclaiming that area, taking it up. So it would look something like this. You would wait until you bounce from the value area low. You would look to take it to the top of the range. That's still a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio, a great scalp to play here, but you're not going to be longing until you reclaim these lows. Okay, that is about it today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Just a little short update, not too much changed for today. We are at some major resistances, so be aware of that, but everything is holding pretty strong so far. You just don't want to be looking for swing longs at macro resistance. So just be careful of that. Yes, we could break out. Yes, we could bust up to new all-time highs to 113K, but be careful. And also, if you're looking for shorts, we really haven't seen any weakness yet in the charts. So once again, you have to be careful there as well because we could continue to range and then continue the breakouts upwards. But if you're going to take trades, absolutely, it's acceptable. Just you better be using proper risk management and you better be setting stop losses if you want to be profitable, I should say. Okay, guys, have a good one. I will see you tomorrow.